Hello everyone, myself Professor Pratik Prakash Kale, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department of J.H. Raisen Institute of Business Management. We are here to solve another problem on stiffness matrix method. Today we are going to solve one frame structure which is loaded with loadings, different kind of loadings using the stiffness matrix approach. So this is the question that you have to write down. So given is the frame that has three elements, that is AB, BC and BD. At A there is a simple support, at D and C there is a fixed support. AB part is having moment of inertia equal to I, BC part is having moment of inertia equal to 3I and BD part is having moment of inertia equal to 2I. Similarly, the length of AB member is 3 meter, the length of BC member is 5 meter and the length of BD member is also a 5 meter. Now there is a loading. On BD member, there is a load acting as 120 kN at a distance of 3.4 meter from point D and 1.6 meter from B. Similarly, on portion BC, there is a UDL acting on the entire length of 5 meter with the intensity of 50 kN per meter. Now, as I solved previous problem of continuous beam using stiffness matrix method in my previous video, so our step 1 was, so first step is to define the degree of kinematic indeterminacy in the structure. So here we can say that point A, that is support A or joint A and joint B, are free to rotate. Why? Because they are joints, rigid joints, okay, and the rigid joint having the tendency to rotate. So A, at A there is a simple support, so there will not be any kind of displacement in horizontal or vertical direction, but at point A you can have rotation. Similarly, at joint B also you can have rotation. So in this way we conclude that there are two kinematic indeterminacy possible in this entire structure, that is theta A and theta B. So step 1, to find decay. From the given frame we can say that the given frame is a non-sway type. Yes, I will post shortly a video on how to determine the frame is sway or non-sway. Okay, so before that, just have a look to this. This is a non-sway frame. Okay, so at joint A and B, as I told you earlier, there is a possibility of rotation at A and possibility of rotation at B. So there are two unknown displacement at this particular structure at A and B. So considering the direction of that rotations as clockwise, at A there is theta A clockwise and at B there is a theta B clockwise. Now moving towards our step number 2. So step number 2 is to find the fixed end moments at the structure due to the external loading. So for AB there will not be any kind of fixed end moment since there is no external load. For BD span, since there is a point load acting at a different point than a center point, please make changes here. On span BD I have written central point load, but it is not a central point load, it is acting at a 3.4 meter from the D point. So for that we are having left side. Now just look at here, whenever you will be talking about frame, just remember the observer's view is always from the inner side of frame to the outer side. Means we will observe our frame from this point in this way. This will be our observation and this will be also our observation. Okay, and if there is a right side column present, then you can observe this like this. So observing in this side, this will be our left part of this BD member and this will be our right part of the BD member, correct? So in this way we will get this fixed end moments anti-clockwise at D and clockwise at B and having values equal to mdb dash and mbd dash. So mdb dash, that is the left side moment, fixed end moment, will be calculated as WAB square upon L square, and we will put negative signs since in this problem, as I told you in my previous video, we are assuming clockwise forces positive and anti-clockwise forces negative. Yes, this is my assumption. So the anti-clockwise WAB square upon L square, putting the values, you can have this 41.78 kilonewton meter. Similarly, MBD dash WBA square upon L square, that is 120 into 1.6 into 3.4 square upon 5 square. Since 5 is the length, it is 88.78 and it is positive since it is clockwise. Similarly, on BC member, entire UDL is acting. So for entire UDL acting on a fixed beam, there is a generation of fixed end moment, and the formula is for that is the WL square upon 12 at the both ends. So WL square by 12, WL square by 12, you will get 104.17, 104.17. Now in step number 3, what we are going to do, we are going to formulate a stiffness matrix. For before formulating a stiffness matrix, we should know the stiffness matrix element. So for that, you have to consider every joint where you have determined the kinematic indeterminacy and apply that rotation or deformation, okay, whatever you are having at that point, one by one at both the ordinates. Now giving ordinate number 1 to joint A and ordinate number 2 to joint B. Now apply theta A at joint A and put value of theta A equal to 1 radian. Okay, so apply unit rotation at joint A. So due to the rotation application, there is a generation of moments at this AB span. So where the rotation is applied at that point, there will be generation of 4 EI theta upon L moment, and at the other end of same beam we will get a moment of 2 EI upon L, 2 EI theta A upon L at the other end. Now since theta A is applied in a clockwise direction, so always remember the moments generated due to the rotation are always in the direction of rotation applied. So there is a clockwise moment generation. So since this AB is having value of moment of inertia as equal to I and length equal to 3 meter, putting those values will be equal to 4 EI upon 3 and this will be 2 EI upon 3. Now this theta A will not disturb BC part and BD part. So there will be no moment generation in this part. So we will get from here the first column of the stiffness matrix, that is K11 and K21, that is the rotation at 1 due to unit deformation or unit rotation applied at 1. This K11 and K21 means that the force required at I point due to unit displacement applied at J point. I have explained this in my previous video. So similarly K11 will becomes, since we have found out the rotational displacements, we will get moments as a unknown forces. So moment required at 1 or moment generated at 1 due to the application of unit rotation at 1, so that will be a K11 element, and moment generated at 2 due to application of unit rotation at 1, there will be a K21. So in this way you will get this theta A equal to 1 radian. So K 4 EI upon 3 and 2 EI upon 3 will be your K11 and K21. Similarly, when you apply unit rotation at B, now B is the common point of AB part, BC part and BD part. So when you rotate this B joint, it will have impact on these all three members. So at B there will be generation of 3 moments for BC member, for BA member and for BD member. Now look at this AB member. This is the unit rotation of theta B. Okay, putting theta B equal to 1. Now this will introduce a clockwise moment since theta B is applied clockwise. So clockwise moments will be developed at B and A. Okay. So you will get the value at B as 4 EI upon L, that is 3, and at A as 2 EI upon L. So A is our first coordinate and B is our second coordinate, and at B you will get 4 EI upon 3 as I said you earlier. Now for portion BC, since we have applied theta B equal to 1 in clockwise manner, so in this portion also we will get a clockwise moments. So 4 EI upon L for the BC member. So values of I is 3I and L is 5 meter for this case. So putting those values, so just keep one thing in mind, wherever you apply rotation, okay, if this is a fixed beam and if you load AB and if you apply rotation at A, okay, if you apply rotation at A, let us consider in clockwise direction. So always keep in mind the joint where you apply a rotation, that will have 4 EI upon L moment, 4 EI theta upon L moment, and another joint that will have 2 EI theta upon L moment, 2 EI theta upon L moment. So in this way we will get a second column of the stiffness matrix, that is K12, that is moment generated at 1 due to unit rotation applied at 2, and K22, that is moment generated at 2 due to unit rotation applied at 2. Now there will be summation of these all moments for K22, that I will explain you later. Now moving to our next step, the fifth step, that is now to write down the stiffness matrix. Since we have got all four elements, okay, from which point I get that the stiffness matrix will be formulated of 4 elements. Since we are having 2 unknown displacement, so 2 by 2 matrix will be there. So K11, K12, K21 and K22 will be the elements. Now to solve this equation by stiffness matrix method, that is by displacement method, write down the stiffness method equation. So total action at joint is always equal to action due to external loading plus stiffness matrix into unknown displacements in the entire structure. Now stiffness matrix, so this is K11 4 EI upon 3, this is K12, this is 2 EI upon L, K21 is our 2 EI upon 3 and K22 is summation of all three moments 4 EI upon 3, 12 EI upon 5 plus 8 EI upon 5. So calculating the values of this, you will get this stiffness matrix. Now putting the equation here as total moment at A and total moment at B. Since in the question we haven't given any moment at A and B, so this value will be equal to 0. So moment at A and moment at B will be equal to 0, 0. Now summation of MA dash means action due to the external loading at A, means there is a generation of FEM. Since AB span is having no load, there was no generation of fixed end moment at that point. So this part is also equal to 0. But at point B, MB dash, we will have two moments, that is for MBC and MBD. So keeping here clockwise positive and anti-clockwise negative, we will put the values and we will get this. Plus this stiffness matrix we will write here, and these are two unknown displacement that we have to find. And solving this with the use of calculator, we will get this unknown displacements theta A and theta B with respect to EI. Now in step 6, writing down the slope deflection equation for each span and putting down this EI theta A and EI theta B values, we will get this moment values. Okay, these are the final moments at the each joint, and then we will draw a bending moment diagram for this particular frame structure. Now this green color will show you the free BMD and this red will show you fixed BMD. This is all from my side. Thank you so much for watching this video.